Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on this cute little peyote earring, and this is a variation of the Empress earring we made a while back. I'll link that one in the description box if you want to take a look at it. So this is what it looked like. Cut it in half. That's what it comes out to. Sort of, adjusted the pattern a little bit. We're going to use the peyote quick start card as well as doing it, just regular by hand. So whether you have the card or not, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to get started right away because it's a bit of a long video. So don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell if you enjoy my videos. So let's get started. Okay, let's get materials list going. So I have 4 Delicas, a metallic in 3 colors. And the reason I did that is because I am doing a variation of the Empress pattern. So it's all outlined in the metallic and then it's filled in with the color. I've got a couple of briolettes here. You can use a regular drop, you can use a pearl, you can leave it off, you can do anything you like on the bottom. Have fun playing with that. Doesn't matter what size they are. I've got some, these are 2-inch 22 or 24 gauge head pins. Really wire is better here for wrapping the briolette and wrapping a loop here. But I didn't have any wire. So if you have a 4-inch piece of wire, 2 4-inch pieces of wire, that's will be easier. It's doable with this. Couple of ear wires. I've got some chain. You can, these are about 3 to 4 millimeter loops on this chain. You can use jump rings if you like. I didn't have any, and I like the chain because you can keep it closed. I've got a stop bead. This little pin I'm using to take, because I'm going to do the card as well as regular. I use a pin to get it off the card. An optional item, but which I think is highly, highly recommended, is some kind of coating to stiffen your peyote. So here's this one I have used, and see it's nice and stiff. Doesn't change the color. I really like this jewelry shield. It's actually used for people who have allergies to coat metal and such, so that it's not touching your skin, but it stiffens the beadwork and it works great. But I think they also have some thread stiffeners. You can check that out. I'll put a link to this down below. I've got my Peyote Smart card, my very favorite way to start peyote, size 11. We'll do this start and we'll do the regular start. I've got a size 10 beading needle, 8-pound Fireline black satin. I like it for this project. Anything else will be, I think that's everything, but everything is in the description box below the video. Sizes, shapes, colors, amounts, everything you need will be listed down there. Coupon codes, any discounts I have. So don't forget to click the down arrow to show more. You know the drill. And we'll close this off and get started. Let's do the card. So thread your needle with about 4 feet of thread, put on a stop bead, leave about an 8-inch tail. So if you have never done these cards before, I'll link a video down below where I go into a lot of detail, but I'm just going to kind of go through it. I'll do each step though. So I've just folded my card over. It comes like this. Fold it over gently. You don't need it to fold it tight right here so that these 2 edges meet. You have this part facing you. There's a little hole right here. You want to just put your needle through there. Like that. Pull it through until your stop bead stops the needle. And then so your thread's coming out of here, and then if you notice there's a little teeny hole right here. You want to sew through this one and under that little sort of bridge right there. So you're coming out this first larger hole right here. Pull in so you can see it close. Okay, just like that. So pull your needle all the way through. And this is what it looks like. And now you're ready to put some beads on. Okay, let's add some beads. So we're exiting that opening right there. I'm holding it this way so I can put the pattern at the top of the screen. It might be easier for you to, to hold it whatever way is comfortable for you. So I'm going to pick up with my Delicas, exiting right into this opening. I'm just going to go right under the fold to place a bead right there. Just like that. Okay, do that again. So very easy just to pop your beads on. That's 2, exiting here, just sewing under the fold. That's You can give it a little pull, it pops into place. So I have 3 on. I'm going to do that until I have 12 beads on the card. Okay, let's go to row 2. So we're doing odd count now. So we're exiting this hole right after the last bead we put on. So without any beads on your needle, just sew down through that last bead you put on, that previous row. And this is what it looks like. You're going to have a little thread right here, and don't make this too tight right there, because that's what you're going to pull up to get it off the card, to get your piece off the card. All right, so now we're set up to put some more beads on. So we're going to do B beads. We're going to do 5 B beads. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I got caught on my desk there. And then 1 more. So 5 B's, 1 A, and then 5 more B's. That's 3, 4, and 5. This is what I have. Okay, let's move on to row 3. So we're going to pick up an A. So we're exiting here out of the bottom. Just going to sew through the next one. So that's 1 A. And then we're going to do 4 B's. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 2 A's. That's 1, 2, 4 B's. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. We have to put our last A on, so we're doing the odd count turn now. So I'll pull in a little bit for the turn, for those of you who haven't done it. So I'm exiting this red one, picking up my gold bead, sewing this direction, sewing down the gold one at the top, the one underneath it, and then the one on the diagonal. So those 3 beads right there. And that's going to place that gold bead right at the top, and I'm going to pull it down, push it into place. So see, just like that. And then all I want to do is move my thread so I'm coming through this bead so I can put more beads on. So exiting here, I'm going to sew through this one. It's the one right next to it. Make sure you're not piercing your card. Just going through the beads. Then the one above it and the one on the diagonal here. So the coming out of that gold one on the left, and then down this one. And now I'm set up to put more beads on. Okay, let's do the regular start. So thread your needle with about 4 feet of thread, put on a stop bead, leave about an 8-inch tail. So I'm going to pick up and drop down to my stop bead. 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B, 3 A's, a B, an A, a B, an A, a B, an A, a B, an A, a B, and an A. So you'll have 23 beads on, and of course it'll be above. All right, let's move on to row 3. So you know the first 23 beads we put on are rows 1 and 2. Now we're going to go to row 3. I'm going to put on an A. So picking up an A, skipping the bottom one, sewing through the next one. Make sure those 2 A's at the bottom sit next to each other, like that. And then the next 4 beads are going to be B beads. So pick up a B, skipping the next one, sewing through the following one. That's 1, 2, 3, 'Make sure they pop next to each other. That's 3. Let's do one more. And 4. So it looks like so far. Let me just adjust my piece a little bit. Okay, and the next 2 beads are going to be A beads. So 1 and 2. That's what I have so far. And then we're going to, let me just adjust my piece again. I'm going to put on 4 B beads again. This is what I have so far. Now 4 B beads. One, 2, 'Those down a little bit. 3, 1 more B. That's 4. And it'll be much easier for you because you won't be trying to film it so everybody can see it. So I have my 4 B's on, and the last bead is going to be an A bead, and that's going to be our turn. So here's the loose bead up here, picking up an A. I'm going to sew through this one, so the loose one, the one underneath it, and then the one on the diagonal. Just like that. Make sure that pops over. So you have your last bead on, doing our odd count turn. So we want the thread to come out of here, so we're exiting here. Sew through the one next to it, to the left there, the one above it, and the one on the diagonal, and then down. This one is what I have. Now you're going to, we're going to go to row 4. So everybody's going to meet at row 4. And we're all going to do the same thing from there on. Just a note before I move on, make sure when you're doing it, just holding it with your hands, that you're not twisting your beads. You want to make sure you have a line of gold beads down to the left here, and then you have a gold here and a gold here, but you must have one straight line of gold beads down this left-hand side here in order for the pattern to come out. And sometimes the beads like to twist around, and some of your red ones will, or other color will go on the other side. Just make sure that's exactly what it looks like. Let's move on to row 4. So I'm going to pick up one A, Just we're exiting this top bead here. Just going to put on our A. And I'm going to do 3 B's. 1, 2, and 3. One A, one C, one A, 3 B's, and 1A. Oops. Did you see that bead go flying? So this is what I have. So that's row 4. Okay, we want to move on to row 5, but before we can do that, we have to decrease because we're coming to a point here. So we're exiting this bead right here, but I want to be exiting this bead. So I'm just going to snake my thread around. So I'm just going to go through this one. So right next to the one I'm exiting. Just find the best way to go through. I'm going to go through the one above it, and then maybe this one on the diagonal, right there. Through this one. Be careful you don't pierce your card. Down this one. And then right up the gold one. Here. And now I'm ready to put some more beads on. Okay, let's move on to row 5. So we're putting on 1A, 2 B's, 1, 2, 1A, 2 C's, oops, I got my thread caught, there we go. So that's 1, 2, start to see the pattern coming out a little bit, an A, two B's, and an A, that's what we have. That's row 5. Now we want to do our turn because we want to be coming out here or decrease. So we want to come around and make sure we're coming out here. So I'm going to sew through the red bead right next to the bead I'm exiting. This gold one. Just be careful that you don't pierce the card. Up this red one. And then down the gold one. And now we're ready to put some more beads on. Okay, let's go on to row 6. So you can pick up an A, so exiting here, pick up an A, on an A, B, an A, a C, a D, a C, an A, a B, and an A. That's what I have. We're going to decrease. So we're coming out here. So through this one. The one above it. This one, and then through this gold one. And now we're ready for our next row. Okay, let's move on to row 7. So we're going to want 2 A beads. So that's 1 and 2. 1 C, two D's, a C, and 2 A's, and 2. That's what I have. Just turn around. Just gonna pop down these 2, so the one next to the one I'm exiting and the one underneath it. I think you're experts by now. Up this one. So the red one. And then down. Gold one. Now we're ready to do another row. Okay, let's move on to row 8. So we've got an A, a C, a D, a B, a D, a C, and an A. Let's turn around and decrease. So I'm just going to go through these 2. Down this one. And then up this guy, the gold one. And now we're ready. Let's move on to row 9. So we've got an A, a C, and we put on 2 D's, so that's 1 and 2, a C, and an A, let's turn around, decrease here, okay, now we're ready for row 10. Okay, row 10, got an A, a C, a D, a C, and an A. Let's turn around. Decrease. And we'll move on to row 11. Okay, row 11, 1A. Two C's. And an A. And we have so little to do, we might as well just turn around and keep going. It's 11. Let's go to 12. So I'm turning around. Let's go to row 12, 1A, 1C, and 1A. Let's turn around. And decrease. I think we'll just finish it up here. We only have a couple more beads to put on. So row 13, 2 A's. One, two, let's do our turnaround. And then you have 1A as your last bead, row 14. And we're done with our beading. How cool is that? Okay, for those of you using the card, let's take it off the card. So I'm just going to open the card and I'm just going to remove my stop bead like that. And then pull in a little bit here. If you notice, there's a piece of thread right here. I use a pin to grab a hold of it, you see, so it's at the top there. The one that came over the fold. You're just going to take that and pull it. So I put a pin in, I hold this nice and tight with my thumb, and then I just give it a little pull, and you're off the card. Okay, we're back. So now we're going to set up to put on the ear wire and the briolet. So you have this thread, this was the tail thread coming out here, which is perfect. We're going to use that. And then you have the thread you have left from, you know, all your beading. So you can sew this thread in if you like and clip it off, or you can move it down to the end here to attach the briolet. So just check your thread. I'm going to give you some hints here, you know, and tips as well. Make sure your thread isn't too soft. Make sure it's nice and strong. If it isn't, sew it off, you know, sew around the beads and then clip it off. I'm just going to move my thread down. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to use these outside beads. I don't want to pull too tight. I want to make sure everybody's nice and staying nice and straight. So you're just going to just move through the beads. You can, you know, move in and out the interior of the beads if you like to, until you're exiting this bead right here. So I'll just let you do that and I'll do it off camera and then we'll continue. Okay, now we're going to attach some chain or jump rings. Now I like using the chain because I can cut 2 pieces of chain and have them be closed, you know, so nothing is, the thread is not going to go through these 2 links. So we want 2 links for the top, or 2 jump rings if you're using jump rings, and then 1 for the bottom. So I'm just going to clip the way I'm going to clip the 2 to keep them, you know, closed is I'm just going to, they're the first 2, and then I'm just going to clip the 3rd link so that I can get these two out. And now I have two links that are closed, and then I want another closed link. So here's the one I want. I'm just going to clip the second one in so that I can pull this one out. And now I have my second, there we go. Now I have my second ring, so this is going to go at the bottom and the two are going to go at the top. So let's attach the top. So I have these two links right here, and I want to attach it so it's facing like this. So the first link is facing the like sort of sideways that way, and then the second link is facing open towards me. Does that make sense? There you go, just like that. So all I'm going to do is just pick up the two. I'm going to sew through the next bead. So this is what it looks like. And then you're just going to go back up this guy and through the loop again, and then back down this one like that. And you can do that as many times as you think you need it to be secure. This is what I have. You're just going to, now you're going to take this thread, you're going to sew through the beads, reverse direction, and clip that thread off, and then we'll do the bottom. Okay, for some reason, the clip where I put the bottom ring on, it just disappeared, and I just didn't realize it and continued. So you're just going to put that bottom loop on exactly like you did the top one. So you're going to sew through it and around, and then sew your threads in, and then we'll continue. Okay, so if you're using a briolette, we're going to wrap the briolette. Otherwise, you can use, a drop that has the hole lengthwise, and that's kind of easy to put together. So because I'm using this head pin, I'm going to just clip the head off of it. If you have a wire, it's going to be much easier. I'm just going to go through the top of the briolette like that. I'm going to have a little less coming out on this side than this side. So maybe like that. And I'm going to twist it up. So you see how much I have on one side and one on the other? And what I have on the other? I'm going to twist it up and crisscross the pieces. And I'm just going to manipulate it so it's, see how it made like a little triangle on the top there. And the part that's always hard to show on camera, I'm going to hold it so that the smaller piece is on the left. I'm going to put my chain nose right there. I'm going to hold it super tight and push this down like that. So I push the small side down. So you see how that's kind of making a little crease right there. I can hold it super tight again right there on that little point and pull this side up like that. So I have this kind of, show you on my hand so you can see it. So this is what the wire looks like so far. Okay, so now I'm going to grab that little point again, right there. I'm going to hold it pretty tight. I'm holding it with my, well, for me, with my left hand, so that I have the smaller end here, the larger end here. I'm just going to grab my other pliers and I'm going to wrap a loop. I'm just going to do it twice. So that's one. Two. Okay. So now I have two wraps. That's what it looks like. And then I'm just going to clip in the back. I'm going to clip that tail off really close like that. And this is what I have. Okay, let's get this loop made so we can attach it to our earring. So here's what I have so far. I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers or point nose pliers. I'm just going to grab the edge right above where I wrapped, and you just want to put it at the very end of these pliers. You don't want a lot of space here because that's the amount you're going to be wrapping right there. So I want to wrap just a tiny bit. So I'm just really going to put it right at the end like that. And then I'm just going to bend this piece over. So make sure you're holding it nice and tight. I'm going to bend that piece over. And do you see how small an area I'll wrap now? So the area is right here before the bend where I'm going to wrap. That's what it looks like. Okay, next I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to place the bottom jaw right here. So just hold it in just like that. And this, where you put it here is going to determine the loop size. So if I put it here, I'm going to have huge loops. So I just want a small loop here. So I'm just going to put it like so. And this is what it looks like. And then I'm just going to take this guy and I'm going to wrap it around the top, just like that. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. So I've taken the pliers out and I'm going to put the bottom jaw right in that little sort of half circle we made. And I'm just going to take this piece and I'm going to wrap it around. So hold it nice and tight. I'm going to wrap it around that bottom jaw. You can use a pliers here if you like, but this is, you know, this is a pretty thin gauge, so narrow, you know, so it's easy to use my finger. So that's what that looks like when I take it out. This is what I have. Okay, let's put the briolet on. So here I have it to this point. I'm just going to slide it in and pop that loop in just like that. See that? That's what it looks like. Get it situated. Now I'm just going to hold that loop with my flat nose pliers, or the point nose pliers, like that. And I just want to wrap this wire just a couple times around to close it up. So that's one. And, oops, let me grab it. Two. It's never easy for me to do this on camera, but that's good enough, right? And then I have my little end here. I'm just gonna clip it off. My end got kind of curly, but I'm just gonna just clip it right off at the edge, and then this is what it looks like. Okay, so then we're going to put the ear wire on. Okay, so I'm going to pop the ear wire on, and just make sure the way you put your ear wire on is the way the earrings are going to sit. So you want to make sure, you know, that you're putting them on correctly. But I mean, if you mess it up, then it's very easy because you're just attaching it to a loop to close it. So here I've just slipped my ear wire on. I'm just going to close it up. I have my little ball right there, so let me close that just like so. And then here's my earring. Here's my other earring. Okay, so if you notice, I mean, look how they do get kind of flimsy, and that's because you are handling it so much, and the heat from your hands and the humidity in the air softens the thread. And that's why I like to use the jewelry shield or a fabric stiffener, thread stiffener, to stiffen up the earring. I suppose if you let it sit for a while and it would be okay, but I just think this works so good, and it doesn't change the way the beads look or anything. So all you're going to do is I just take the back of, I put the earring on a flat surface. I usually put it on one of these little trays. I won't do it on camera. And then I just take the jewelry shield and I really dab it all over, and you can put quite a bit on, you know, to make sure it's well covered, and then you just let it dry for several hours. This one's been done, and look at how nice. It's nice and stiff, and it hasn't changed the color, nothing. So it works out really well. So here you go. Here are our earrings. So how cute is that, and how fun are they? Now it took forever to do the video, but really if I'm just doing these while I'm, you know, just sitting at my desk, it takes about half an hour to do it, if that much. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Play with the pattern. Do all kinds of different patterns. I just thought the Empress pattern was kind of pretty to play with a little bit, and you know, but you can really do anything you like. All right, so take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.